what's today? Monday. The Monday after Easter. It is like 70 something degrees today. And I have a little tank top, a little skirt that comes up, and this jean jacket because, you know, we get nice weather and then we lose our mind, and I'm trying not to do that. I already feel like I'm kind of getting sick, so I'm like, I'm gonna put a jacket on. How are we doing today? So I just went to weigh in, and I don't want to talk about my weight because I was doing so good in the month of March, and then I had a few curveballs come, and it did not throw me off my rocker as far as being committed, but it did set me back, and the scale went up. Oh, the scale went up. I'm like, what? How? Why can't I lose weight at the rate that I gain weight? So with that being said, I went to weigh in on a Monday because if I waited until Saturday, I'm just being 100 with you all, I would probably eat like a fool this week. When it comes to my weight loss journey, I tend to be very particular, like very critical of things, silly things. So like if I start on a Saturday, like if my weigh-in day is Saturday, I feel weird not weighing in on a Saturday. And so then in my mind, I'm like, this isn't a serious week until Saturday. I know it's weird, but I'm just being honest and I'm sharing that with you all. But anyway, went to weigh in today because I'm like, not another week, says God. Not another week of eating like a fool, says God, right? So I went to go weigh in. I probably should run to the grocery store at some point today because I plan to take my behind to the gym tomorrow morning. And I miss going to the gym, if I'm honest. I feel like when I stopped going to the gym, not only did my energy levels go down, but I was groggier, a little moodier. So the gym really has its benefits. Also, I saw that the number on the scale didn't mean much because I was losing inches. Like your girl was slimming down and the scale wasn't moving that much. So I'm not even worried about the numbers on the scale, but because I went to weigh in today, it kind of just like solidifies the fact that I'm starting again this week. So that's that. Easter weekend, resurrection weekend was amazing. I have vlogs up for that. If you have not checked them out, I will include them in the link below. I am on my way to meet with one of my honey buns, one of my friends. And so I just wanted to talk about, yikes! I wanted to talk about the topic of friendship really quickly. As I've said before, I want my channel to be a channel of authenticity, of transparency, of honesty, real talk, real conversations, because sometimes that can be a struggle with social media and the representation, the facade we present, the representative, excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied, that we want people to have. Look at the police, y'all. I gotta go like this. The police right here. I gotta slow it down. The representation that we want people to have of us versus the representation that people should have of us is one that we have to be intentional about correcting and addressing and speaking up about. So I want my vlog to stretch me in the fact that I want ministry to flow, but I also want to be honest about where I am so that people can feel supported, seen, heard, and not alone, right? Because we can use our platform with the intentions to be encouraging and empowering, and it can also be destructive. And that's not to say that you should just be putting all your business on Front Street, but it is to say that, like, if you're going to be an encourager and if you're going to be someone who ministers, you also want to be relatable in the fact that people can say, oh, so with Christ you do have hard days, or in Christ you do deal with rejection, or you do deal with having to do things better and offense and all these different things. So anyway, just a little backstory. I've been in Ohio for about 5 years now, and I have a banging church home. And I'm taking complete ownership in the fact that sometimes when I was in school, I was just like like extremely busy. Not sometimes, all the time. Your girl kept 3 to 4 jobs. I was student teaching full time. That's unpaid. I was working at a call center overnight on weekends. I tutored during the week while also being a CA, which is similar to an RA. And so that's pretty much working at home with the residents in the community. So I was working every hour of the day, for real. And so I think because of this work ethic, it got me through school. I don't regret it, but it did not make much time for me to water the relationships that should have been and should be more intimate and deeper relationships right now. So I know the people in my church. I know a lot of the people, and I love them, and I feel like I have family there and community. But I'm in a season now where if I'm deciding to stay in Ohio, which I am, I want to see those seeds that have been planted begin to manifest into, flowers and, whatever. I want to see the relationships that were supposed to be more begin to, come to fruition. And so God kind of placed it on my heart with my recent birthday that this year the priority for me is community, because if I am going to stay here, I need to be intentional about my community. And there's things that I do well, one of which is hosting. I love to host. A couple years ago I had a futon in my house and a TV, but I used to have people over every weekend. I mean, every weekend, sometimes during the weekdays. I would cook chicken wings, steak, sometimes seafood. I mean, whatever. We would get B-dubs. I make the sides. We was just having a good time. I love hosting. I love opening my home to those that I feel I am in relation with. I want them to know that they have a safe space with me. I think my classroom reflects this belief. And so as of lately, I really haven't had people in my home because I'm not done furnishing. It's something about when you get older, you're like, well, I don't want you to come over until my house is put together. And I don't know what that is, pride. And so again, that's just backstory information. God has really put his hand on community for myself this year. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I plan to document different things when it comes to friendship. But I also just want to encourage someone who is in a place, whether it's where you are from or if you've relocated and you're looking for community. I just want to be upfront and honest and first say, no one wants to be alone. No one really wants to not have friends. I don't care who you are. Even introverts, which if we're talking about our likeness in Christ, everyone has some introvert tendencies. Everyone has some introvert tendencies. Want to have those people that they go and have really deep, stimulating conversations with, right? No one really wants to be alone. Even people that I've met, students that I've met, adults that I've met that say they don't care for people have their moments where they want to be around people. And so, again, if you're someone and you are looking for community, you feel like you've been struggling with community, my first question to you would be, what role have you played in the development of your community or the lack thereof, right? So right now, because God has his hand on community for me, I am in a space where I have to take accountability for my part, assess what I was doing and was not doing. And it's not always with malicious intent. Like I said, I was in school. And so whether people understand that or not, I didn't realize until maybe my last year that I really couldn't be a quality friend to new friendships because of my time commitments in other places. I didn't even know how to articulate that until my last semester of college. Like, hey, I don't even know if I can come through as often or hang out as much as you would like. And I don't want you to think that I don't want to be friends. But that's really where my head was. I was just so busy. I was working overnight on weekends. That's when most people are free. And I was working and taking classes until 9, 10 o'clock at night during the week. And if I wasn't in class, I was studying. If I wasn't studying, I was doing my CA job. If I wasn't doing my CA job, I was tutoring. I didn't have time to invest in a relationship that hadn't already been rooted in solid foundation. And so again, I know I'm like jumbling around this because I'm driving, and I also just want to just, you know, you're getting the most raw discussion of this. So when God started to put his hand on community, which this isn't his first time putting his hand on community for me, because if I'm gonna be honest, a season ago, which I would say is last summer, I was really offended. I was like struggling with the fact that, like, man, I'm in Columbus and I don't feel like I have friends. I want to go home. Like, I have people here, but my people, right? You know, your girlfriends, all of them relocated. So now I'm like, yo, I ain't no friends, and I don't like it. And the people who are in my face should be my friend. Like, feeling just kind of like, woe is me. And so I had to walk through the discussion of offense in my prayer closet, and God had to begin to deal with, like, no, don't be offended. People want to be your friends. People want to be around. People da-da-da-da. But the relationships that you're looking for, you don't get those overnight. You don't get those deep, come over whenever, I'm stopping by, family driven, very close in nature relationships just because you've known people for years. You get that through the time and the effort that you put into it, and you haven't had that. You haven't had time and effort to do this, and so now you're kind of trying to withdraw in a place you haven't deposited much. Ooh, okay, Holy Spirit, don't check me like that. Okay, so it took me a little while, right? Time is still a thing, still was working, still trying to get my life in order, and here we are, spring 2019, and God has pressed upon my heart that I'm staying in Columbus, but that if I wanted to be more fruitful, if I want to get everything that he has for me here, I need community. It's not debatable. It's not something. We were not created to be alone. We were not created to not be in relationship with other people. And so when we hear people say I can do battle by myself, or when we see people promoting being alone and enjoying it, or I'm good alone, baby, they're hurt. And it's okay. Like, Alicia loves alone time. I love alone time. But I would never want to live and journey through this life alone forever. I want my friends. I want my family. I want my boo thing. I want my children. I want them. I want them in my space, because life is that much more amazing with other people. I believe that. Even if I don't get to experience it yet at the level that I foresee myself experiencing it, I'm declaring and decreeing that I will not journey through life alone. It will not just be me and my career. I don't want the accolades, the titles and all that without someone in the audience to be clapping with me. Okay, so God has pressed upon my heart to be community oriented and to do some things, and he's giving me some ideas that I am going to be obedient in making come to pass in the next couple weeks / whoa, hold on, y'all, is this my exit? I think it is. The next couple weeks / the next couple months. And so tonight, though, I'm meeting with a young lady, because in friendship and in trying to get your community, your tribe, right? Because I'm gonna be honest, I have a community, I have a tribe back at home, but God has just been showing me that because of how I've made you, you should have a tribe everywhere you go. And no, they won't look the same. No tribe looks the same, but because of your makeup, because of the things that I've placed inside of you, you should have a community. You should be able to find more of my children to connect with wherever you are, right? So I'm meeting with a young lady tonight that, as I was praying and kind of like exploring my error, my expectations, other people's expectations, moments when people was trying to be friends or have relationship with me and maybe I rejected them unknowingly, all these different things that I believe God kind of began to unravel for me. This one young lady, she keeps popping up in my spirit. And so again, I'm sharing this because someone else might need to do this. Someone else might need to hear this. Someone else might need to be encouraged by this. I want to sit down with her, and I want to I want to say apologize, But I don't even know if apologize is the right word, because I don't think I've offended her. But I want to rectify and let my intentions be known that, like, hey, I see you. I wasn't always able to see you and put in the time and effort to this space, but you are someone that I definitely want in my community, because there's things inside of you that I need. And I think once you get to a place where your circle of friends isn't just comprised of people who like you, or who want you for tangible things, or like, oh, she can dress, let's be friends, or oh girl, we like the same actor and actress and artist, but really like some of your gifts I need, not for my benefit, but to sharpen me. Some of your discipline I need in my life. I need your accountability. I need the things that God has, allowed you to be strong in to help sharpen me. You don't mind having conversations like this. And I do know that as I get older, these conversations become harder because, one, women, I come against this, but we can be petty in the spirit, right? We can be very petty. We can be very, just a lot of things. Most importantly, for man across the board, set in our ways. And so God is pressing upon my heart to be like, look, you need this. And by your obedience, and your willingness to do this, even though it's uncomfortable, you will birth a community that looks like the one at home. And it will also provide space for others who needed this but didn't know how to do it, or didn't want to do it, or was too scared to do it, or didn't feel safe to do it, or didn't know how to process rejection, and so they didn't do it. And so that's just a tidbit of what God has been giving me. But this conversation is going to be the birthing of something that I want to work on, because we need people. We need each other. We need our community. Like, that is not up for debate. We can no longer make community something that we debate about. And so you have to tell yourself, I'm not going to let another relationship fall by the wayside because I need the people God has allowed me to be, to have access to. And if it means putting my pride aside to tell someone, hey, I need your friendship. I'm in a space where I want friendship. I want community, but I don't want just any old community. I don't want to be the strongest in my circle all the time. I don't want to be the smartest in my circle all the time. I think that's when you start to really have a circle of people that's like thebomb.com. And you get to thrive. Because I know for a fact, whenever I have been really like on board and intact when it comes to community, those have birthed some of my greatest winning seasons. When I had friends and people, wise counsel, like consistently assisting me with my decisions and telling me about resources and connecting me with other people. And so that further proves that we just need people. We need people. We need, especially the people that God shares with us and send to us for us. And so I guess what I want to say to everyone before I get out the car is that, like, look, if there are broken relationships in your life with people that you should be working things out with, that you should be mending things with, that you know they serve a purpose and you benefit from them in some way, shape, form, or fashion, put your pride aside and connect. Don't take it lightly that God sends you people, great people at that. And because of the overarching project that I want to work on, like, it's not even a big project. This is really close and near and dear to me. But although this is uncomfortable and although we don't want to do this, sometimes you have to be the person you need it. You have to create the space you need it. You have to create the events you wanted to see. Sometimes you have to birth the very thing you need, because other people need it, but other people aren't going to take the initiative. They're too scared. They've been rejected. They're afraid. They don't have the strategy. God hasn't whispered it as a task for them. And so you have to do it. Okay? You have to sometimes be uncomfortable to birth the very thing you need that will propel you further. Right? So I'm so excited about this conversation tonight. I know she's like, sorry, my phone keeps tripping. I know she's like not expecting it. She doesn't know why we're meeting. I just was like, hey girl, hey, look, let's meet this week. I want to talk to you. And she was willing, because that's who she is. She's sweetie pie. So I'm excited, and I don't foresee myself sharing her on here today because this is personal, right? But maybe I'll feature her on a blog at some point. But I think this is definitely, because I've been praying about it and I've been asking God for strategy, this is definitely the first step for what I'm trying to do and what I'm working on. And sometimes it looks like acknowledging, like, hey, X, Y, and Z didn't happen because of me and I didn't know it, or I wasn't mature, or I didn't realize what you wanted from me or what you offered to me. And so I'm here to rectify some things. I'm here to just rekindle it. Things don't even have to be wrong. You don't even have to have a falling out with a person to be like, what we were trying to grow, I wasn't a participant in watering. And so if you would have me, or if you are willing, I'd like to try it again. And I got some humility. All right, I'm heading in. I'll see you in a little bit. Just wanted to check back in, and just like that, it was a great night. You do not lose by putting your pride aside and saying, hey, this is where I'm at, this is what I need, and I would love for you to be a part of this process with me. I'll see you all in the next vlog. Have a wonderful evening.